What's up, YouTube? This is G Reporter with a little just a talk here. I just want to talk about several things. I want to talk about Baghdadi. I want to talk about him because it makes me wonder, like, all these guys that are whistleblowers who are getting assassinated, like David Goldberg and what's his name, the reporter. I forgot his name. It slips my mind when I make these videos. But yeah, the reporter that was about to expose. Oh, they're drag racing out there tonight. Sorry for that, but yeah, I really forgot his name. And there was also a football player who went into Iraq and he was going to blow the whistle on what was going on over there, and they killed him in supposed friendly fire. And I forgot his name too. So there's so much info out there. It's hard to keep up. But I don't forget the situation of why they die. I may forget their names. It'll come back to me, but I'm not gonna worry about it now. Most of y'all know what I'm talking about. Uh, it's crazy. It's really, really actually crazy. A couple of weeks ago, I haven't talked about it. I've been probably making slideshow videos of the stuff I've been capturing in the daytime, but at nighttime, probably like 3 weeks ago, I was really, really amazed because I have never seen a UFO. I've never seen it without a camera. But I seen a UFO with the naked eye. It's probably like 3 weeks ago. I didn't want to talk about it because I know who it is. I know who it is, and I don't want to say the name, but they're watching me because they were circling me, and it wasn't I don't believe it was a government UFO. I believe it was from the upper levels. I don't know if you know about the levels of heaven and earth, but they're actually hiding. They're hiding things. But if you go back into your history and just read not only Christianity scripture, but read different. You gotta be diverse. You gotta look for the truth anywhere. But oral traditions, what people say. I'm I'm more into what the ancestors had to say because they didn't have an agenda. But it's just making me wonder a lot. It's making me wonder why we're in this situation. And I know why. It's because a lot of us are preoccupied. Preoccupied with work, family. I go through it too. But when this all culminates, because this they're setting the stage because they're I just got a text saying there's severe weather approaching. I'm out here and I don't see it, but doesn't mean that it's not gonna happen. But it's just making me wonder now. Now they're starting up with this weather stuff. They're trying to make it that it's weather. They started in the last what? In the last 2 years, because before this wasn't like an issue. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with UFOs. I do understand that they're using holographic technology to make these things appear, but there are real ones. I'm not saying all of them are fake, I'm just not buying their narrative, but I know there's something to it because I myself had personal experiences with these things. Now, I never seen them, I don't hear them, they don't talk to me, but it leaves me with questions. You know, my story of why I'm who I am, it's due to my experiences in life. My experiences in life have brought me to this cliff. It's a cliff. And I just I have a memory. I have a memory of from the time before I was born. And I want to get into that before I close out. I do really want to talk about that because I told a subscriber, or I don't know if she was a subscriber, but I mentioned that I would talk about my time in the light world. And my time in the light world, it was a brief remembrance of it because I think I just got wiped clean. But I do remember several details. I remember, the living light. I remember that. And I'm not going to tell you things that it's a lie because, I'm being recorded. I have to be honest with you. I'm being recorded and I don't want to mislead people. Well, from the beginning, from what I remember, was I couldn't open my eyes because of the brightness. It was so bright. And I couldn't open my eyes. I mean, I could, but if I open them, the light will just be too powerful. But I remember the light being like alive. I don't know how to explain it, but it was alive. And I remember thousands and thousands of people talking, whispering. It was like it was like a party, but it was kind of like quiet, but you could hear thousands of people talking. And I had to keep my eyes closed in order for me to, you know, to somehow see. And I realized that if I close my eyes, I can see, but with a feeling. See with feeling. I um I remember hearing a woman's voice, and she was saying while I was being pulled, because that's the feeling that I felt. I felt I was being pulled out of that place, and I heard her say, as I was being pulled into the portal, I heard her say, "Ups, there he goes," and I felt myself being pulled. I was I was scared. I was confused. I was like, "What's going on?" And as I was being pulled out, there was no anger inside of me as I was being pulled out. But as soon as I came out of my mother's womb, I was, I was enraged because I was so angry while I was pulled out of there. And I was saying that to myself, you know, in my head. I was, obviously, I was speaking English, but before I was born, I was speaking English, which is weird. I don't know how. I don't know how I understood, but me growing up, I, I understood what people were saying. This remembrance, it's still fresh in my head because I since I was young, I always wanted to go back, and I've always been upset, not at anyone, but I'm here for a reason. I'm here to you know I'm here to just give my account, be a witness. I'm just here to maybe awaken people that, there is a, when you die, there is a place that you go to, that there is no uh, insecurity. It's totally secure. Um, there was no evil there. I sensed everything. The voice that I heard, I don't know. I don't know who she was. Maybe my heavenly mother. I don't know. It's really really vague, but it's still fresh in my head because I'm still questioning things, and there's things that I easily throw away. There's things that I easily dismiss because it sounds, you know, ridiculous. So I just, there's a lot of things I don't even mention. There's a lot of things that, you know, I don't have time for. There's just so much mayhem out there. It's a lot. It's not done on accident. This is a this is an agenda that's been going on for a long time. And the reason why all the cities are near the coast, they say yes, it was because of shipping and this was easy access. But I feel like they were put by the water because they had to they had to preserve America. Because I've drove through America at least 6 times, coast to coast, and most of America is empty space. It's not overpopulated like they say it is. Probably in New York and certain places, but everyone could probably have an acre of land in America and live comfortably. But this agenda, this 2030 agenda, and then it's gonna go to 2040, which I doubt if we're gonna make it that long, but I'm hoping not, because I'm really, really, really starting to. I'm starting to feel that it's getting closer and closer. The you know the end of the world, and it's not going to be what people think. Most people don't have a clue what's about to happen. Most people don't care. But I've been thinking about eschatology since I was a young kid, and the reason why I was so attracted to religion was because there was answers there, and there was answers that I didn't agree with, and there was answers that I did agree with. But in general, all three religions are basically correct in what they say what will happen. There is such thing in scripture of time travel, time I really don't know how to say it, but there was a story in my book that some people went to sleep in a cave and they probably woke up like 300 years later. And there are stories like that in scripture, so you can't dismiss it. I always knew there was time travel because I always had deja vus, and you can go into the future in your ethereal form, which I was always, going there. I didn't I didn't think I had any control over it. It just happens. But I might have to let y'all go. All right. I'm trying to talk in private, and someone's approaching.